Most men will die without ever meeting themselves. Most men will live 60, 70, 80 years, and die without ever shaking hands with the man they could have been. They will wake up every day and wear a name that isn't theirs. Work jobs they hate. Live lives that numb them. Play roles that were scripted for them by society, family, fear, or failure. They'll smile when they're empty. They'll nod when they want to scream. They'll shrink to fit into rooms that never deserved them. They'll confuse survival with purpose, comfort with peace, and distraction with meaning. Here's the brutal truth. Most men never meet themselves because they never go deep enough. They avoid the silence. They run from solitude. Because deep down, they're terrified of what they might find. What if there's more inside them than the world ever told them? What if they were meant to build, lead, create, fight? But they spent their life scrolling, pleasing, surviving? That kind of realization would shatter the illusion they've built their whole life around. And most men don't want truth, they want comfort. So they distract themselves. With women. With noise. With substances. With cheap wins and shallow praise. They become strangers to their own soul. They never meet the warrior within. The part of them that craves conquest, not in the world, but within. The part that's not afraid to bleed for a vision. The part that looks in the mirror and says, "You are not done yet." That man doesn't seek permission. He doesn't complain. He doesn't hide behind excuses or wait to be chosen. He builds. He disciplines. He becomes. But most men kill him off before he even speaks. Because awakening him would require a sacrifice. And sacrifice is something most men fear more than failure. Meeting yourself requires war. Not with others, with your comfort. With your past. With your ego. It requires asking the hard questions. Who am I when no one's watching? What pain am I still carrying? What lies am I telling myself? What legacy will I leave if I keep living like this? It requires you to strip away everything you've been told. The fake masculinity. The broken culture. The generational wounds. The labels slapped on you by people who never even knew your heart. And underneath it all, there he is. The real you. Unchained. Unapologetic. Unstoppable. But you'll only find him through discipline, solitude, pain, and clarity. The man who meets himself becomes a rare force. He's not loud. He doesn't posture. He doesn't chase anything that costs him his soul. He moves with intent. He speaks with precision. He walks into a room, and the room shifts. Why? Because he knows who he is. And most men don't. He doesn't need validation. He embodies value. He doesn't need praise. He respects himself. He doesn't follow trends. He follows truth. And he knows the world doesn't need more noise. It needs more real men. Men who've been to the bottom of themselves and didn't run. Most men will never feel what it means to be truly alive. Not because life denied them, but because they denied themselves. They traded their fire for comfort, their strength for acceptance, their soul for survival. They spent decades becoming a version of themselves that pleased the world, only to realize the world never truly cared. And by the time they wake up, it's too late. They've built a life that fits the man they pretended to be, not the man they were born to be. So they go to the grave with songs unsung, battles unfought, lives unlived. And they call it fate. But it wasn't fate. It was fear. But it doesn't have to be your story. If you're reading this, the war isn't over. There's still time. Time to unplug from the noise. Time to get brutally honest with yourself. Time to kill the false self and resurrect the real one. Start small. Get quiet. Write. Train. Think. Pray. Build. Walk. Reflect. Listen to that inner voice, the one you've ignored for too long. Because he's still in there. Unbroken. Untamed. Waiting. And once you meet him, once you become him, you'll never go back. You'll never betray yourself again. You'll never seek outside what you already carry within. You'll become a man of presence, a man of vision, a man of unshakable identity. Most men will die without ever meeting themselves. But if you're willing to suffer for the truth, to fight for your soul, to rebuild from rock bottom, you won't just meet him. You'll become him. And that will change everything.